Repeat after me. Om Ajnanatimirandasya.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji got dropped off.
You're not hearing it.
No, he dropped off, Prabhuji. He got disconnected.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sorry, something happened. Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya.
Jnananjana Shalakaya.
Jnananjala Shalakaya.
Chakshurunmilitam Yena.
Akshurunmilitam Yena.
Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Asmai Shri Guruve Namaha.
Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam.
Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam.
Stapitam Yena Bhutale.
Apitam Yena Bhutale.
Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam.
Swayam Rupa Kadamayam.
Dudati Sapadankitam.
Dadapi Sapitam.
Vandeham Sri Gurun.
Vandeham Shri Guru.
Sri Yuta Padakamalam.
Yuta Padakamalam.
Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha.
Sri Gurum Vaishnavamcha.
Sri Rupam.
Sri Rupam.
Sagrajatam.
Sagrajatam.
Sahagana Raghunathanvitam. Tam Sajivam.
Amsajivam.
Sadvaitam.
Advaitam.
Savadutam.
Savadutam.
Parijana Sahitam.
Paramajasaitam.
Krishna Chaitanya Devam.
Krishna Chaitanya Devam.
Sri Radha Krishna Padan.
Sri Radha Krishna Padan.
Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha.
Sagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitascha.
He Krishna Karuna Sindhu.
He Krishna Karuna Sindhu.
Dina Bandhu Jagatpate.
Dina Bandhu Jagatpate.
Gopesha Gopika Kanta.
Gopesha
Gopika Kanta.
Radha Kanta Namostute.
Radha Kanta Namaste.
Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi.
Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi.
Radhe Vrindavaneshwari.
Radhe
Shabhanusute Devi.
Vrishabhanu Sude Devi.
Pranamami Hari Priye.
Pranamami Hari.
Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya.
Vancha Kalpatarubhasya.
Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha.
Kripa Sindhubhya.
Patitanam Pavanebhyo.
Patitanam Pavanebhyo.
Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Sri Advaita Gadadhara.
Sri Advaita Gadadhara.
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Rama Hare Rama.
Hare Rama Hare Rama.
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Rama Rama Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please everybody if possible, show your faces so that we become personal. We don't want to be impersonal, please. Okay, and also, thank you, Jayaprakash. Thank you so much. So we are doing 721. I just wanted to give the brief synopsis of this chapter. We have been doing this chapter. I just want to spend maybe 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes on the synopsis of this chapter. This chapter is about the absolute truth. I said several times, up to 6th chapter, Krishna talks about atomic cell, which is soul. From 7 to 12 chapters, Krishna talks about himself, transcendental nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I also said several times, Krishna is Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. And up to 6th chapter, when we are covering only Sat and Chit potencies. And I several times explained Sat is basically, which is Brahman, eternal existence. Chit is eternal awareness, consciousness, which is Paramatma. Okay. And when we have this Sat and Chit, which is not complete, Krishna is Purna Purusha, Sat Chit Ananda. Ananda is actually the prime, prime factor of Shri Krishna. Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit is there. If Ananda is not there, blissful, it's like not complete. So basically, this chapter from onwards, 7 to 12, Ananda potency is explained by the Supreme Lord himself about him. Okay, and we have seen that Brahman means reality exists, ultimate reality exists. But without Ananda, is the complete potency of Lord Sri Krishna, Sat Chit Ananda is incomplete. That's why Krishna talks about this chapter. And here, we all know that bliss, that is love, Prabhupada several times, time and again explains, loving Godhead, loving devotional service. So that love factor only comes when you understand completely about Lord Sri Krishna, his qualities, his paraphernalia, his devotees, etc. That mainly starts from chapter 7 onwards. Okay, and we have, and you all attending everyday 7th chapter. Krishna briefly describes his external energy, internal energy, and marginal. Parasya Shakti is the Daiva Sriyate. Krishna has multivarious potencies. Okay, and he explains about external energy. Mama Maya Duratayaha. And he also explained about internal energy with the Srimati Radharani, the devotional aspect of Krishna. And finally explains, and also Arjuna puts question to Krishna, when people know that you are the supreme absolute truth, why people don't surrender to you? And Krishna explains, I am taste in the water, ability in the man, I am the etc. He explains very beautifully. Then Arjuna puts question to Krishna, when people know that you are the supreme Param Brahman, you are the absolute truth, and why people don't take up your devotional service? And subsequently, Krishna explains so beautifully that because my external energy is people who are not in devotional service, my external energy is so powerful. Krishna says, Mama Maya Durataya. My external energy is very, because the internal energy, external, these two are Krishna's energies. One is front, other is back kind of thing. Good or bad, both are coming from Krishna. There's no evil. Everything is coming from Krishna, front and back. In that case, why some people are not taking up your devotional service? The biggest question puts in the shloka around 7.11, 12, around that point he puts, you say your taste in the water, ability in the man, you are the highest, best among the lights, everything best among is Krishna. And also, out of 8.4 million species of life, every first species is a Krishna. First dog is Krishna, first donkey is Krishna, first human being Krishna, first tiger is Krishna. If that is the known fact, that is where Darwin's philosophy is defeated. And Krishna puts this, Arjuna puts this question, people know all these things, but still they're hesitant to take up your devotional service. What is the reason? Then Krishna nicely puts that, this is very, very mind-boggling to understand that every living entity has been given a free will. Free will. Especially if you come, are you able, are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Prabhuji. Hari Bol.
Thank you. So thanks, Jayaprakash. Thank you so much. So Krishna puts this question now. We know that you are everything best, but why people don't take up your devotional service? So then Krishna brings up a very nice point. This is a very mind-boggling. Krishna says the free will which has been given to each living entity. For example, in our lives, we can only control so much in our lives. Okay. For example, 98% of the time Krishna controls, it goes as Krishna wants. But 2% is given to you as a free will, Krishna. Means you are independent what you want to do in the 2%. The 2% of free will, which is causing all this havoc in our life. Why? The 2% of the free will, what Krishna given to us, we make a big deal about it and we try to enjoy so much with the 2% of free will. And that free will is the reason which is making us not to take up the devotional service. Okay. And the 2% will, which is for the sense gratification, which is surrender to the external energy of Sri Krishna. And external energy is also Krishna's energy, and it's so powerful. Mama Maya Dhuradaya, very powerful, and it makes you to believe which is not correct. It puts you in the illusory energy of Krishna. It makes you to feel something which is not. It's like a mirage. It's mirage. Where there is water, no water exists, but you feel like water is there. Where the real happiness doesn't exist, we feel happiness is there. The 2% of free will which is given to you by Krishna, that is the cause for our suffering in this material world. Okay, and he gives that one. Then Krishna talks about different things like why my external energy is very powerful. Though it's my external energy, there are external agents which are controlling my energy. Srimati Durga Devi. There's a nice shloka in Brahma Samhita, right? Ichcha Anurupam. There is a nice shloka in Brahma Samhita that explains very beautifully how Srimati Durga Devi is controlling the external energy. Sthiti, Palaya Sadhana Shakti Rekha. Chaye Vayasya Bhuvanani Vibharti Durga. Ichchanarupam apiyasya chetetastate Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. She is the one external energy of Lord Sri Krishna is acting as an agent for Krishna, and she is putting us in this situation that everything here we are thinking is permanent in the material world. So that is the reason, one of the reasons is we are attracted to the external energy of Sri Krishna so much that we forget our real nature. And you forgetfulness of Krishna, forgetfulness of our identity with Krishna, which puts us in this material world of the external energy of Lord Sri Krishna. Then Arjuna puts question, if that is the case, Krishna gives again at the same time also, he gives a solution also. Okay, if somebody wants to come to my devotional service directly, they can come to us. But how that happens, he says very beautifully in some of the shlokas that a person, a living entity in this material world, come to me through a bona fide acharya. Because bona fide acharya is beyond these three modes of material nature. He is really on the Shuddha Sattva level. And when you are in these three modes of material nature, we cannot understand the true nature of the spiritual existence of the Supreme Lord. Then we have been given agents of Krishna who are spiritual masters, who are the bona fide acharyas in the parampara system. We should take their lotus feet and they will guide us in a proper way. And also Krishna puts what kind of devotees comes to. One is, the seeking of knowledge, one is for money, etc., etc. Finally, he puts finally a person can get liberated. Finally, he puts liberated only when he will be surrendered to the bona fide acharya on the Guru Parampara system. Okay. Then also Krishna before that also puts that a living entity not easily comes to Krishna Bhakti. It takes from him, he puts a nice shloka, which is Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapachyate Vasudevam Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudarlava. After taking many lifetimes, Well, you become a Mayavadi, you become a Brahmavadi, you become a Shunyavadi, you become a impersonalist, and you become a partialization. All you go through all those levels. Then you refine. It's called a refinement process. You refine your consciousness so much, taking so many lifetimes. Then you come Bahunam Janmanamante, taking many millions of lifetimes. Then you come to the standing that Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Krishna is everything. And that's the reason why a person coming to Krishna Bhakti is not ordinary soul. He's a Mahatma. He might have done Ashwamedha Yagas in the previous lifetimes. Then only Krishna Bhakti comes. It's not an easy task asking people to chant. Everybody cannot take up the chanting. People doubt it, people question it, but whoever takes chanting or whoever takes the book distribution, whoever takes the books from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, that's so much pious people because they have gone through the refinement process of taking many lifetimes. Now we come to understanding Krishna, Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Samahatma Sudurlabha. How many people we have Krishna Bhakti out of 6 billion people all over the world? Maybe not even 0.001% take up. So very rare. That's the reason why we respect each and every Vaishnava. Doesn't matter, he's chanting 1 round, 16 rounds. We respect every Vaishnava because he's taking, see, Prabhupada writes one of the books that the accepting Krishna as supreme itself is a liberation. Look at that, how beautiful Prabhupada gives so much encouragement. Accepting Krishna is the supreme itself is a liberation. Accepting 3 Vishnus or who are the in charge of material creation, that itself is a liberation. Means we are accepting the information coming from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, that it itself is a liberation for the human society. Such beautiful. That's why Krishna came in Kali Yuga, Kalikala Nama Rupe, Krishna Avatar. He came in the form of Nama, and he came in the form of scriptures. By reading the scriptures, by understanding the scripture, Shravanam and Kirtanam, very important processes in Kali Yuga. Prahlad Maharaj beautifully explains, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Suranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. And we take up any 1 or 2 processes powerfully, that itself is a liberation in Kali Yuga. So that is what Krishna explaining Bahunam Janmanamante here. Okay, and after that, what happens is here, if you go to subsequent shlokas, Krishna beautifully explaining some of them. I'll just go through here. So you look at this one, Bahunam Janmanamante, Jnanavan Mam Prapanchate, Vasudevam Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. Krishna says, after many births, who is actually no knowledge, surrender unto me.
Hare Krishna Mataji, what happened?
Oh, nothing. Sorry.
Mommy.
Mataji, if you need any help, please tell Mataji. Hare
No,
Krishna.
I'm okay. I'm okay. Sorry. I'm
Okay.
okay. I'm okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay. So that's what usually Prabhupada explaining. It's not an easy task to come to Krishna consciousness. It takes several lifetimes. Well, okay, knowing me to be the cause of all causes, all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. In Prabhupada puts end of 6th chapter, they're the Mahatmas, they are the greatest achievers who come to Krishna consciousness. Okay? Then we'll go to the next 20th shloka. Here, beautifully Prabhupada puts again, if you look at the translation, those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires, surrenders unto the demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship, according to their own natures. Here, the free will, Prabhupada talks about the free will which was given can be used for the demigod worship, right? So, and here Krishna is saying that those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires. Why we go to the demigods? We always do business with the God because our mentality is to do business with the God. If you have any material desires, you go to demigods. For example, in the Bhagavad, which is beautifully explained, so many reasons why we go to which demigod. If you want a beautiful wife, you go to Mother Parvati. If you want to get a money, you go to Kuber. We want etc. Demigod worship is done, but that's not the Prabhupada beautifully writes that is not the intelligent way. The intelligent way is go to Krishna. Even demigods doesn't have a power to give on their own any boons. That everything has to come from Lord Sri Krishna, who is the master of everything. In that case, then in Bhagavatam also Lord explains very beautifully that if you need any desires, whether you have a material desires or spiritual desires, go to Krishna. Akama sarva kamoha moksha kama vidayate tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham parama. Whether you have desires, whether you have material desires, spiritual desires, go to Krishna. Why? Because everything has to be sanctioned by him. This knowledge is perfectly given in Bhagavad Gita. There is no question. There is it's not required to worship any demigods, because all desires will be fulfilled by Krishna. Even if I meet material desires, we are grihasthas, we have families, we have kids, we have necessities, we have requirements, and nothing wrong asking Krishna, I want this one. Nothing wrong in that. Ask him, but ask Krishna. That is what we are saying. We are not saying, oh, we are not Paramahamsa, so I don't want this. No, we are all desires. I have material desires, you have material desires, nothing wrong in that. But go to Krishna for any desire. Akama karma saham. Whether it is akama or kama, doesn't matter. Go to Krishna. And what happens is when you go to Krishna, finally Krishna purifies your consciousness. Like examples, we have Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj is a desire to, because when it's a mother Suniti told, I cannot help you. Suruchi didn't allow him to sit in the lap of Uttanapada, Dhruva Maharaj's father. And he went to his mother and complained. Suniti said, I have no power to do anything except you go and Lord Vishnu. Then he was on the way to going to Vishnu. On the path, he met his spiritual master, Narada Muni. And he said, what is your desire? I wanted to have a kingdom greater than my great-great-grandfather, Lord Brahma. That was his original desire. He had a desire, he went to Krishna. And as Dhruva Maharaj met Narada Muni, he gave a Mahamantra. What Mahamantra he gave in Dwapara Yuga? Satyuga, anybody remember on the call?
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Absolutely. He gave Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He started with that Mahamantra. He was able to see, first month, he eats only a little bit. Second month, there are different aspects. Finally, finally, it comes. He only lives on the air. Finally, he doesn't even live on the air. He becomes totally skinny, and all his bones are there. And finally, Supreme Lord comes and asks him. Then he said, then he says, I come with a desire of having a kingdom greater than my great-grandfather, but after seeing you, I don't want anything. I just want your devotional service, and all my desires are like a broken pieces, glass pieces. So that is what, when you have desires, go to Krishna, nothing wrong. But it is not required to go to any demigods. Even demigods have no power; they have to give from Krishna. So this shloka is saying same thing. Okay, we'll just recite the shloka and we'll try to conclude here. Okay. Repeat after me. Please unmute your mics. Repeat after me. Okay. Yo yam tanum bhakta.
Yo
Yam Tanum Bhakta
Saddhaya chitam ichati.
Swadhyaya Chitam Ichhati
Tasya chalam shraddham.
tasya
tasyachalam shraddham
ताम एवा विधामि अहम्
tam eva
vidham.
Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. Please repeat after me. I am in everyone's heart as the super soul.
I am in everyone's heart as a
everyone's
super
heart
soul.
as a super soul.
As soon as one desires to worship some demigod,
As soon as one
As soon as one desires to
worship
worship some demigod,
I make his faith study
I make
I
his
make
faith
his
steady
faith steady
so that he can devote himself to that particular deity.
that he can
so
devote
that he can
himself
devote
to
himself to that particular deity.
See how merciful Supreme Lord here, beautifully explaining that. If you have a desire, because now Krishna is sitting and everybody has a Kshirodakasai Vishnu Paramatma, we all know that, right? He expanded into each and every cell. Andantarastu Paramanu Chayantarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Andantarastu Paramanu, even in the every atom, Krishna expanded in the 400 Narayana form. Okay, he is there in our heart as a super soul, Paramatma, right? He knows our desires. Prabhupada beautifully puts two birds are sitting. One is sitting and looking at other bird, what wishes other bird is asking. One is soul, other one is super soul. Beautifully Prabhupada writes. So and the soul desires something, super soul sanctions immediately. When the soul is desiring, again, this desire comes from the free will which was given to us. 2%, remember, 2% free will, which was given to us. That free will asking, I want to go to the material world. I want to worship different demigods. Immediately, super soul Krishna says, yes, go ahead. Sanctions immediately. He never shows any partiality. So look at here. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular, because that is the duty, that is the response. That's how a super soul works, that whatever a soul is desiring, whatever soul desires, okay, I want to worship particular demigod, he says sanction tadastu. That is the mercy of the super soul, is whatever your free will is desiring, that sanctions. But we have to remember that whatever we choose through the free will, that will come and cause bondage to us in this material world. Pay attention here. The 2% free will, which is given to us, what you choose in your life, that is a reason for us to coming back and forth in this material world. So we have to carefully deal with the 2% of free will. When you submit the 2% of free will to Krishna again back, then you're totally surrendered to Krishna. That is where real liberation comes into the picture. But as long as the 2% of free will which is there, which is not given to Krishna, it is misdirected to so many ways, so many demigods here, that material world, enjoying sense gratification, this, that. The 2% is a culprit here, devotees. So the 2% we have to learn. See, Krishna controls 98% of our life. We all know that. What kind of wife, what kind of kids, what we get in our life, it comes through purely our previous karmas, and we love the Lord. But only 2% is in your hands, whether you want to make it or break it. That's what here Krishna writing so beautiful. Okay, I think we have short of time. What I would suggest, any volunteers are there, we can read first paragraph. I just want to read. Prabhupada gives so much. First paragraph, please. Any volunteer?
God has given independence to everyone. Therefore, if a person desires to have material enjoyment and wants very sincerely to have such facility from the material demigod, the Supreme Lord as a super soul in everyone's heart understand and give facility to such person. At the Supreme Father of all the living entities, he does not interfere with their independence, but gives all facility to such so that they can fulfill their material desire. Some may ask why the all-powerful God gives facility to the living entity for enjoying this material world, and so let them fall into the trap of the illusionary energy. The answer is that If the Supreme Lord as a super soul does not give such facility, then there is no meaning to independence. Therefore, he gives everyone's full independence, whatever one likes. But his ultimate instruction we find in Bhagavad Gita, one should give up all other engagement and fully surrender to him. That will make man happy.
See, look at how beautiful. Krishna is not forcing anyone. Okay, he is giving a choice to you. Hey, this is what it is. This is what it is. It's your free will what you want to choose. Even given the 2% of free will, you want to worship any demigods, I'm fine with it. You get whatever you get, you're supposed to get, you will get it. But my instruction, see, for example, when we coach our kids, we tell them, hey, these are the possibilities. It's your choice to choose. Right? The same way, we are all children of Krishna. He's telling very nicely, hey, I given a 2% of freedom for you. But this is the facts. These are the facts. You want to go to demigod, I have no problem. Go ahead. But you suffer according to what you are supposed to get. If you come to me, you get what you're supposed to give as my instruction. So very clear here. Krishna is not hiding anything here. Arjuna put a very wonderful question to benefit people like you and me. He's giving very clear instruction. What happens when you worship demigods? What happens when you worship Krishna? And Krishna is not partial to anyone. He's above all these things. He doesn't care whether you come to him or not. He's out of love. See, for example, we give instructions to kids. If they become revolt, he says, okay, whatever you want. Because we cannot control beyond a certain limit our own kids. Okay. What about Krishna? We are all his dear children. Krishna giving very nice what you call options here. Option 1, you want to go to demigods? Yes, you can go there, but these are the benefits. If you want to come to me, yes, come to me. These are the benefits. So it's your free will now. How you want to choose, where you want to go. Any questions on this paragraph? This is the greatness of Prabhupada. Beautifully, clearly explained. Any questions on this one? Okay. If no questions, I would like one more volunteer. Thank you, Jayaprakash Prabhu. Nicely read. Thank you so much. And next one is, thank you. Yeah. These are the transcendental words, Prabhupada words. When you speak, just by reading these words, you get perfection. You liberate it. This is the Prabhupada's mercy. Anybody wants to take that opportunity? 1, 2, 3. Anyone?
Both the living entity and the demigods are subordinate to the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the living entity cannot worship the demigod by his own desire, nor can the demigod bestow any benediction without the supreme will. As it is said, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Generally, persons who are distressed in the material world go to the demigods, as they are advised in the Vedic literature. A person wanting some particular thing may worship such and such a demigod. For example, a diseased person is recommended to worship the sun god. A person wanting education may worship the goddess of learning, Saraswati, and a person wanting a beautiful wife may worship the goddess Uma, the wife of Lord Shiva. In this way, there are recommendations in the Shastras, Vedic scriptures, for different modes of worship of different demigods. And because a particular living entity wants to enjoy a particular material facility, the Lord inspires him with a strong desire to achieve that benediction from that particular demigod, and so he successfully receives the benediction. The particular mode of the devotional attitude of the living entity toward a particular type of demigod is also arranged by the Supreme Lord. The demigods cannot infuse the living entities with such an affinity, but because he is the Supreme Lord, or the super soul who is present in the hearts of all living entities, Krishna gives impetus to man to worship certain demigods. The demigods are actually different parts of the universal body of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, they have no independence. In the Vedic literature, it is stated the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Super Soul is also present within the hearts of the demigod. Therefore, he arranges through the demigods to fulfill the desire of the living entity. But both demigod and the living entity are dependent on the supreme will. They are not independent.
So beautiful, so beautiful. Prabhupada explains so beautiful. Look at that, and also how merciful Krishna is. He's not complaining, oh, you didn't come to me. So both the living entity and demigods are subordinate to the Supreme Lord. Supreme Krishna is Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. A piece of blade cannot move without his permission. That consciousness we have to elevate. That, see, again, saying is easy, but elevating our consciousness to that level, it needs a practice. We are not this body, we are the soul. Easy to say, but we have to practice that. It takes a lot time. Here, Prabhupada is really putting that. And therefore, the living entity cannot worship demigod by his own desire. Why? Because the freedom which is given to you, you are expressing a desire, and the Paramatma which is sitting in your heart is sanctioning. That's what demigod bestow any benediction without the supreme will. Supreme will is sanctioning that desire. When you ask, he is giving. As it is said, not a blade of grass cannot move. So every desire we wish, a permission from Krishna comes, yes, go ahead. But you are using your free will in different misusing. So your free will is, Krishna, I want to take the shelter of Shiva. Krishna says, Tadastu, take it. He doesn't come and say, no, don't do that. He gives benediction to do that one. He blesses you also. So generally, persons who are distressed in the material world, demigod, as per Vedas, Vedas actually, this is one of the problem with the Vedas, I think if you go to first canto, sixth or seventh chapter, Vyasadeva wrote so much literature up to 17 Puranas. And some of the Puranas, actually, I tell you, this Vedic literature is like, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda, and Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda section is full of, okay, you do this, you get this. You do this, you get this. Whole Vedic knowledge is not properly designed to go to the, basically, attain the Supreme. Because only little part of Vedas called Upasana Kanda talks about the devotional service of the Lord. But majority, 80% of Karma Kanda section of Vedas talks, okay, if you do this, you get this. You do this, you get. That's why we are caught up in that Karma Kanda section of Vedic literature. But Upasana Kanda, where pure bhakti has been taught, that we did not pay attention. That's a problem. That's why problem came into existence. Here, if you look, as given by Vedic literatures, okay, if you go to Shiva, Uma, you get a good wife. If you go to goddess of Lakshmi, Saraswati, you get a good. Nothing wrong. Krishna didn't say don't go. He said if you have desire, you go there. But Krishna is warning again. Okay, what is that? He is saying that, and because a particular entity wants to enjoy a particular material facility, the Lord inspires him with a strong desire to achieve the benediction from a particular demigod. Krishna is favoring that, and so he successfully received benediction. See, the duty of Krishna is to keep his children happy. Okay, better you have material desire. Okay, I can sanction, take it. But you know the consequences. He gave the consequences. He put everything in Bhagavad Gita. If you do this, you get this. You do this, you get this. The particular mode, there are different gods, demigods in different modes. For example, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Brahma in the mode of passion. Okay, he creates the entities. So like that, different demigod has a different mode of nature. But when it comes to Vishnu, Krishna is the beyond passion and beyond, goodness, beyond goodness, called Shuddham Vishuddham Vasudeva Tattvam. Beyond three modes of material nature. It's called Adokshaja. So Vaipumsham Paro Dharma Yato Bhaktir Adokshaja. Bhagavatam clearly explains, if you want to have a devotion, go to the person who, see, for example, you want to transcend these three modes of material nature, you go to a person who already transcended these modes of material nature. So that starts from our spiritual masters and to go to Krishna. And if you want to remain in these three modes of material nature, you go to different demigods. Whichever demigod has the different, what kind of mode, you will get that mode. It means you are not going out of these three modes of material nature. It means you are entangled in these three modes of material nature. As long as you are in these three modes of material nature, you will not escape four issues. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. You are subjected to these four activities as long as you are in the three modes of material nature. That's why Krishna is clearly telling message. Yes, you have a desire to go to, I can worship, I can sanction that, I can encourage, go there. But you know the consequences of what happens. And if you come to me, beautifully says, akama karma samo, akama karma samo, moksha kama vidayate, tivrena bhakti yoge, yajeta purusham param. I am the supreme. You can come to me, have a material desire, that's fine. Your spiritual desires, and I will take care of it. Even demigods are independent, not independent. They're depending on Krishna. For example, we all pray to Vinayaka, to remove Vigna Vinashaka. But where Lord Vinayaka getting that power? He's getting from Narasimha Bhagavan. Then why don't you worship the source rather than worshipping Vinayaka? I'm not putting the Vinayaka. I'm just giving a knowledge. How you want to worship is up to you. Krishna also providing knowledge here. This is what it is. It's your free will, how you want to surrender that free will. Okay? And the demigods cannot infuse living entities with such affinity. Look at that. Affinity for the demigods doesn't come from the demigod. Krishna infuses through us. Then we attract the demigods. Because the supreme, he is the supreme Lord or the super soul who is present in hearts of all living entities. Krishna gives impetus. Impetus means momentum, force, to a man to worship certain demigods as per your desire. The demigods are actually different parts of the universal. We know they are different angas of Supreme Lord. And also, therefore, they have no independence. For example, our hand, when you separate our hand from our body, it has no independence. Same way, all these different parts of demigods, if you separately worship them, they have no part. When they attach to Krishna and worship Krishna, then they have a meaning. Therefore, here, so it says, it is stated, in the Vedic literature it is stated, Supreme Personal Godhead is the super soul also present within the heart as a Paramatma. Therefore, it ranges to the demigod to fulfill your desires of the living entity. But look at that. Prabhupada puts so nicely, but we have to pay attention where but comes. That is, but both the demigod and the living entity are dependent on the supreme will. They are not independent. This is the statement we have to make. This is the beauty of Prabhupada. Every purport in the last 1 or 2 lines, Prabhupada connects to Krishna consciousness, God consciousness. This is the greatness of Prabhupada literature. Everywhere you go to, any purport you read, he gives so much theory. The finally 2 lines puts Prabhupada, he connects to Krishna. That is a pure devotee symptom. Look at that. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, as a super soul, was present within the heart of the demigod. Therefore, arranges to the demigod fulfill your desires of the living entity. But both the demigod and the living entity are dependent on the supreme will. They are not independent. So beautiful conclusion by Sri Prabhupada. So this is what explaining. I think the conclusion, what thinking is that everything comes from Krishna. If there are material desires, which is to go to Krishna. That's it. So, okay. I'll stop here, and I would like to hear from other devotees as well. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have one question, Prabhuji.
Who is this, Prabhuji?
Yeah, Bimal, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Bimal Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, yesterday I also raised this question, but I want to put it in a different way now. Like in the war, Lord Krishna directed Arjuna to pray to Indra for the bows and arrows benediction, and then for Lord Shiva to get the Pashupata power.
Right.
Yeah, right. So here Lord Krishna is basically directing Arjuna to pray these demigods, right? But
is that true that Krishna advised Arjuna to go to demigods? Where did you hear that one?
Okay, then I'm wrong.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that part. Yeah.
Then I want to read.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? Actually, Vimal Prabhu, I think I want a different way, because Krishna came with a blueprint. It doesn't matter Arjuna or X, or even if you were there, you could have won the war, because Krishna is the doer. You got the big point here, right? Krishna is the doer. Okay. And Arjuna, out of, is like you and me, the family man. Out of maybe fear or whatever, he went to different demigods. And they, whatever different demigod they have, their instrument to him. I don't think it's Krishna's recommendation to Arjuna to go to demigods.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I definitely don't have Vedic scriptures to tell.
I think Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Ajay. I think like in many instances, I read like Krishna encourages Arjuna to acquire these divine weapons. So for the divine weapons, he has to go to the demigods like Lord Shiva and Indra. So he had to worship them. Without worshipping, he will not get those divine weapons.
Okay.
So yeah, so that advice was given Prabhuji. That's why I heard from many speakers as well.
That's fine. I never read anywhere. I don't want to. If you heard, you read, I agree with you. I'm not doing that. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to tell something which I don't know or which I did not hear.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Any more questions? You're all devotees. You all chant. Come on, add 1 or 2 points. I want to seek from all of you, please. It's a what do you call group discussion.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Please, devotees, please, if you have any concerns or comments, reflections, questions, please open up. This is a time for discussion.
Yeah.
Please go ahead. Thank you.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Sure.
Thank you so much for enlightening us with words of wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Once the desire is fulfilled, let's say if a demigod fulfills the desire, and then the living entity keeps on desiring more and more. So in that sense, they go to different demigods and then they fulfill whatever desires they have. Right. Eventually, once everything has been fulfilled, then what happens next?
See, the beauty, okay, very good question, Mataji. See, whatever desires you get from demigods, they only belong to this lifetime. For example, you go to, Saraswati Devi. So she bases, so you get PhD in mathematics, okay? She can only give that much. Okay, you will become a professor, you have, and you leave it. And beyond this body, nothing comes. If you want a permanent liberation in your life, okay, permanent liberation beyond this lifetime, only Vishnu Bhakti can give. No other demigod has even capacity of giving that permanent liberation. So you choose what you want in your life. Okay, I don't care, A lot of people go to art of living classes, art of living, but we are teaching art of dying here. How to die successfully. It doesn't matter. Dogs also live on the street, art of living. When you master art of dying, art of living automatically comes in. That is what we are teaching. Bhishma Pitamaha, how nicely he taught art of dying. Dhruva Maharaj, how nicely he showed. Prahlad Maharaj, how nicely showed to his father art of dying. So we are trying to master art of dying so that die successfully, so that we don't come back to this world again. But if you go to any demigod, as you said, our desires are like a Bombay railway station. One train goes, next train comes. Again, next train comes. Our desires are series. As our desires get fulfilled, we'll try to desire more. Oh, Krishna, some demigod desire, I want more. That more entangles in this material world, and you bound by the karmic reactions of those actions. And we don't know what you become next lifetime. There is no question of liberation. There is no hope against hope. But when you go to Krishna, Vishnu, any of Vishnu Tattva, there is a hope that permanent liberation will be there. So you choose your free will, 2% free will, you choose what you want in your life. Here, all knowledge is provided to you, Mataji. Everybody is smart. We are IT geeks. We are very well educated. We know how to manipulate things, etc. But when you come to Krishna, see, we inquire everywhere. We go to tourist place, we inquire. We go to picnic place, we inquire. Okay, we go to railway station, everywhere inquiry booth is there. When you come to God, why that inquiry is not here? Okay, what happens to me after this life? Where I am going to go after my death? Where I was before my date of birth? Where I am going to die? When death is going to come? Can you stop your death? So these Satato Brahma Jignasa, only Vishnu can answer these permanent questions. No other demigod gives solution to this one. Did I answer your question, Mata, or did I get confuse you more?
You answered question partly. Then next question that came to my mind was if we still have the 2% of free will,
Yes.
and I'm trying to put it in the way that can be understood properly. So if the 2% of the free will is also directed towards devotional service, and
Yes.
and we know that we are desiring for that, but due to circumstances, it's not becoming possible. But desire is there. That affinity is there in that 2%.
Yes,
So then how can Prabhuji one can understand that
So
you
that-
cannot, that you probably will not be able to achieve, or probably one has some difficulty in achieving, but the desire is there.
Okay, that's why Krishna says, Akama karva samoha moksha kama. You have whether material desires, spiritual desires, come to me, I will take care of it. He will purify us. You don't need to go to any demigods.
Mhm.
Even when you were 2% of the will, you will use for devotional service to Krishna. That's it, you are done forever. You don't have to worry for anything. Again, you may say, I'm not perfect. Don't worry about it. Prayas karna hai. Only Krishna sees our effort. He gives blessings. You don't have to worry, oh, I am not chanting properly. You try to be Krishna conscious as much as possible. Don't worry, I'm not able to chant properly. I am not doing this one. Try to chant as much as you can. Try to dedicate. Try to also devotees. That's all Krishna sees your efforts. Then you are taken care. You don't have to worry too much.
Okay. Thank you.
Because we look for perfection. Perfection doesn't come easily. We all look for Namaruchi. Namaruchi is not so easy. Krishna is not so easy to get, Mataji. Namaruchi. Even I don't like chanting even today. I'm telling you very honestly. I chant because I've taken Diksha. That forces us to chant. And Namaruchi comes slowly, slowly. Maybe this lifetime, next lifetime. There are 3 ways of chanting, right? Namavas, Namaparada, and Shuddhanam. Shuddhanam, Mataji, Shuddhanam of Krishna doesn't come easily. It needs lots of prayas. So that's why leave it to Krishna. Don't worry about too much. Stay with devotees. Take Diksha from spiritual master. You're perfect, imperfect, doesn't matter. Follow regulative principles as Prabhupada said. Take Diksha from bona fide acharya. Do whatever you can. You're Gruhastha. I'm just giving. Your top priority, take care of family. Take care of children. Make them everybody Krishna conscious. And cook nice prasadam. Offer to Krishna. If you're working, go to work and go do these things. And at the same time, dedicate time for Krishna. That itself is enough. You don't have to go beyond your capacity, beyond your imagination. Don't go there. No mental concoction, no philosophical speculation. Be honest with Krishna. That's enough. Krishna sees our sincerity, Mataji. We are imperfect anytime. Even if we chant, our chanting is not so great. Only because of our Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada, we are able to chant it. Chant sincere. Have sincerity in the heart. That itself is enough, Mataji. Be honest with you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, did I answer, Mataji, now, at least?
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know. There is, Mataji, Krishna is so innocent, Mataji. I'll tell you one incident. Krishna is so innocent. So, see, you can please Krishna easily in this world. You cannot please our spouse, our kids, our relatives. But Krishna is easily happy, becomes happy. In the case, somebody calls Haram. Haram, Krishna thinks, oh, Krishna takes Ram from Haram. He filters the negativity, takes the positivity. Oh, she's calling my name. He thinks that way. That merciful Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
That merciful. I'm telling with Mataji, with conviction, with experience. Practice this one. And we are all not Kamsas. Okay, even Kamsa was liberated. We are not Kamsas. We are favorable devotion. Krishna is with us. We have a hope end of the day, Mataji. Believe Prabhupada's words. Is that Acharya gave that guarantee to us. Follow her regulative principles. Take Diksha from bona fide Acharya. Don't worry about perfect. Somebody asked Prabhupada, oh no, you are not so pure, not so perfect. How do you claim you are perfect? Prabhupada only one thing said, I am not perfect, but I am following the perfect person footsteps. That's why I am perfect. So we should do the same thing. We follow Prabhupada, our spiritual masters who are dedicated to Prabhupada, we are taken care of. We don't have to worry too much.
Okay. So it is very important to be in connection with our parampara.
Absolutely. Mataji, we are Krupa Siddhas, we are not Sadhataka Siddhas. Our sadhana is useless. Okay, when you chant, our mind goes 10 ways. We are Krupa Siddhas. Krupa means the Krupa mercy comes from Guru Parampara system. Believe that.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember that we are Krupa Siddhas, not Sadhaka Siddhas. We are not Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We are not Prabhupadas. Yes? We are depending on their mercy only we are able to chant it. We don't even qualify to call name of Krishna. But because our spiritual master, because of Sri Divine Grace Prabhupada, he given permission us to call name of Krishna. That's why we are trying to do that.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Anybody else has anything to add? Any other reflections?
Hare Krishna Babaji. I think I want to share the same desire thing. Like if somebody says, if you desire something with pure heart, it will happen.
Yes.
Yeah. So Krishna sanctions that desire.
That's why you should be very careful what you are desiring.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. So if you have so many desires, then Krishna does not sanction all desires. What I felt is that the more desires we have, our consciousness will become impure by the desires. So desiring something with the pure heart will not happen anymore. Right? So the desires is causing the impurity in the consciousness.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. What is your question?
Yeah. So no, that's what I
no. Okay. Again, remember that shloka. Akama sarva kamaha moksha kama vidayate. When you have material desires, there's nothing wrong. For example, we have children, we have a family. You have certain desires for the kids. Nothing wrong in having. I want my son to become a doctor. I want something. Those desires, nothing wrong in having. But be in Krishna consciousness and desire them.
No,
be God conscious.
Prabhuji, having desires for the kids is one thing, but having self-desires will definitely make our consciousness impure, right? Like anything.
No, I'll tell you one thing. You want to become a director. I'm just giving example blankly, okay? You want to become a director. Okay, that's a desire, right? That desire is not material because you are in already God consciousness. When you become a director, you may get more money. Okay, I'm just giving an example. When you get more money, you're already Krishna consciousness. You serve Krishna. You give a little more donation to temple, and you take care of your kids very well. And you have a big house. You can have Bhakti Ruksha. You can invite devotees. You have Krishna action. So you are dovetailing every activity to Krishna. You should learn that is dovetailing to Krishna. Okay, I want to become a CEO of the company. Yes, go ahead, become. That is, see, the Krishna consciousness, my spiritual master says, bhakti means not a renunciation, it's a dedication. Remember this word. Bhakti means, oh, I don't want this, I don't want, bhakti is not a renunciation, it's a dedication. Yes, I want to become a CEO of the company. I want to get more money. I want to donate to the temple. I want to conduct more Bhakti Rukshas. I want to invite devotees. I want to chant Krishna's name. I want to make Krishna programs. Where as long as your desires are downheld to Krishna, that's the devotional service.
No, Prabhuji, if your motive is to satisfy Krishna, then automatically your desires will be different.
Absolutely. Yeah,
if your motive is to satisfy our own things, then our direction will be different. Like if I want to become a director, I'll focus on how to achieve that position rather than after becoming director, I'll make money and then start Bhakti Riksha. That will not happen, right? I'll build
again, that's what I'm saying. As long as you purify your consciousness at the same time, be associated with the devotees, chanting. If those are boring, you can dotate the Krishna. But if you become a director, you want to become something else, you give up chanting, you give up devotees, you give up classes, that does not be bhakti anymore. You're entangled.
And
You should
desires
be
are
very careful.
unlimited.
Absolutely.
There is no
Absolutely.
limit to the desires. So if you
Absolutely.
chase the desires,
Hmm.
there's no point of they're unlimited. And
That's why
yeah, so
Prabhupada
how you
beautiful.
come back to Krishna in that scenario?
That's what Prabhupada explains. If you go to Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami beautifully explains second shloka in second or third shloka, I don't remember. Read that shloka, you'll get the answers for that one. Nectar of Instruction, written by Rupa Goswami. And Rupa Goswami gives very beautiful instructions to the Grihasthas. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Nectar of Instruction. You get, if you go to vedabase.com, your Nectar of Instruction. Prabhupada writes, I think, the second or third shloka.
Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Anything else?
Guys, I have a hard stop because my wife went for service. I have to cook for DBs now. So
Okay, all right. So we'll not take much time.
Yeah.
Sure. And also, thank you, dear devotees, for joining today. We'll be
Thank you
also
so
having
much.
the Sankirtan meeting immediately after this. Devotees, we would also like to request you to stay on the line, stay on the Zoom, so that we can discuss some book distribution activities on the coming weekend. Thank you so much, Govardhan Bhakta Prabhu, for a wonderful class in a short notice. Thank you so much. And thank you all dear devotees for joining today. This is a wonderful opportunity to hear what Krishna spoke, the Supreme Lord. He is the Supreme. There is only one God. There is only one Lord. That's the Supreme Lord. Everything else comes from Him, either partial or plenary or expansions of expansion. And that we can see in this world. There is a difference of material world. There is a, of course, beyond this material world. There is a spiritual realm, spiritual world, a spiritual realm. It's actually, so we all can attain that spirituality and spiritual realm. But if we are on this material world, yes, there are a lot of controllers. That's called demigods. And if you are, they are also powerful, especially because of the Lord is appointed them, empowered them. So they are also powerful in this world. And when we wanted to do something, or when we wanted to so much into this material and diagonal material desires, yes, they are there to fulfill your desires, but we will be again stuck in this world, one after life, and that's the verdict. So the main thing is, from this janma mrityu jara vyadi, that everybody has to go through the birth, death, old age, and diseases. I mean, they cannot give us liberation from any of this. So Krishna is very clearly mentioned that. So sarva dharman paritejya mam ekam sharanam vraja, right? Also abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto me, so that I will take care of you. So this is very clear. So that what we need to do, yes, we are all humans, we all have lots of obligations and we have to do, yes, but we are practicing, we are sadhakas, we are practicing as much as we can, so that we can purify ourselves, our all this material consciousness. And that's why Srila Prabhupada wanted to bring everybody to the Krishna consciousness, the Supreme Lord consciousness. There's only one Lord in all respect, and that's He is the Supreme. He is the Supreme of the Supreme, the cause of all the causes. He creates, He maintains, He annihilates everything. So this is a very clear picture. So that Bhagavad Gita gives this wonderful, knowledge, the transcendental knowledge. This is, not the empirical or philosophical knowledge. This is a realized knowledge which goes beyond this material, mundane, the knowledge, so that the reality, we can experience the reality and the absoluteness. So thank you so much for joining today, and would humbly request, please keep joining every evening. We have a 7 o'clock till 8 o'clock. And this is a wonderful opportunity. And of course, and we are so grateful to all of you. Because of you, we are having this. And we are all grateful to all the acharyas and Supreme Lord, of course, this mercy of the Supreme. So thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna. So please stay. Those who are, part of the Sankirtan. Those who would like to be part of Sankirtan, please stay on the line. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Let's pay our obeisance to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Vancha kalpatarubhasya.
Vanchakalpatarubhasya
Vasimhasya. Adidanam Pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namah.
Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Ki
jai.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Jai.
Gauri Premanande. Hari Hari.
Hari
Hari Hari Hari Bo.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hari Bo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.